Did you know the Super Mario Galaxy movie looks incredible and that I love Mario and Mario Galaxy? Well, now you do. But while I love the Super Mario Brothers movie, it's got its fair share of flaws the Galaxy movie could be susceptible to. And I have had so many ideas for theories, predictions in my discussion on the Mario Galaxy movie trailer, I just decided to split that up and make it its own video here. If you haven't seen my large discussion, analysis, and mini theories slinging all of those in a video gushing about how amazing this movie looks, check that out if you want more Mario gushing content. But for here, I'm gonna rip the band-aid off. We're just gonna go ham on as many wishes, theories, and predictions, specifically we can think of over the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Starting with ideas leaning more on wishes and desires more than theories. Number 1. This one might be a bit of a hot one. I hope they find a balance in Peach's character. I hope they find a sweet spot of her being badass, but also her acting more like how she does in the Mario games. I like movie Peach. Peach being the parallel for the pro Mario player, the Mario player who's mastered Mario levels during the obstacle course training arc. That was brilliant, and her beating the crap out of a lot of baddies is always fun to see. The writer for the Mario Brothers movie also explained he wanted to do an update of Peach in the 2020s and give her more agency, competency. He wanted to write a female character that could be seen as inspirational and have Peach serve as Mario's guide in the Mushroom Kingdom, all of which they do manage to succeed. I think the problem with movie Peach that a lot of people do express both in person and online is not even the fact she's this gaslight gatekeeping girl boss, but that's basically all she is in the Mario movie. It's fun, but it basically is her soul-defining character trait. Just a strong-ass fighter who can scrap, but nothing about Game Peach is really portrayed in movie Peach. People basically equating her to a Mary Sue, and it's not really wrong, you know? How the movie forces Peach to lock in almost every moment, and she doesn't really fail. There's never really an opportunity for Peach to act more nonchalant, more gentle, feminine, hell, even prissy or regal-like. The part where she calls Mario not important to the Toads as they're about to leave on their journey, just to not scare or disturb them. It's a funny joke. At the same time, though, no version of Game Peach would really do that either. Her being more graceful, considerate of other people, being less stern and assertive, instead being gentler, sweeter, more of a traditional princess, more of her peachy side, like she's always been. I think if the movie allows more moments of peace for stuff like that to happen, it would be more reasonable to make Peach softer like her game counterpart and still add more to movie Peach's character. People will call them character flaws, but she got a lot of those fans because of those character flaws. People do like those traits of hers in Mario games, and she has been a popular character for decades because of those moments where she's both badass and acts like a traditional princess. I don't think Peach's quality as a character diminishes whenever she gets kidnapped. We have had Mario games like Odyssey, Paper Mario 64, and others to where they do make those kidnap plots very creative, very layered, in-depth, and they give Peach a little agency to help Mario. But even then, she does have multiple games where she can get her hands dirty and have even more agency on top of that. Super Paper Mario, Mario RPG, Princess Peach Showtime, Super Princess Peach, Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario 3D World, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, etc. And not only are they all cool, none of those games ever subtracted her character or cool factor whenever she does get kidnapped after. That and a lot of Peach being badass, given more agency, or just being cool. The way they do it in those games is generally more subtle about it too. She never brags about it, she's humbler about it, and it's not the only thing going for her in those games. And you can easily see Peach is modeled in the movie more how she is in the Super Mario Adventure comics, which are fantastic comics. But not only does Mario Adventures Peach act a little more unhinged with her capability, most moments with her, as with every character throughout the whole comic, are played for gags and comedy. And Peach, since the 90s, has become and done significantly more with her character, even if we just zone in on her just being more girly. Movie Peach doesn't get a lot of extra purpose or intent with her being capable, other than just that. There's not much comedy, irony, growth, subverted expectations, nothing. The movie really makes it a point that this Peach is completely capable and flawless, and I think it's a double-edged sword in going for that approach. You give audiences that breath of fresh air Mario games don't often offer pre-2017, but if you make that all she is, you lose a good chunk of the appeal of the character. But the main thing with movie Peach is, while I enjoy her a lot still, it is contradictory saying that I do think it is refreshing to see Peach actually lock in, because it isn't that common in Mario games. But I do agree, they do kind of steer too far in the opposite direction, and it does lose a good chunk of Peach's flavor, something you can't really say about most of the core characters in the movie. And it's very ironic, because plenty of people have said, regardless of their Mario experience being strictly the mainline games, or if they played the RPGs, the sports games, Luigi's Mansion, etc., that Peach is bland character-wise, which, in my opinion, it's not just false. But even if you centered on the mainline titles and how Peach is there, she arguably has more of a legitimate character and personality than Movie Peach. Like, Movie Peach is kinda bland because her being a badass literally is all she is. And yeah, Peach could definitely stand to be more like her game counterpart in some ways, despite I do still enjoy her for how different she is, but now the writers and people behind this movie have kind of created an obstacle with Peach, in that if they do try to capture more of her game counterpart, but if they take it too far, if they make her too incompetent, too much of a fail girl, it pretty much goes against and risks being a giant 180 from her iteration from the first Mario movie. And keeping characters consistent in a movie series is way more important than in a video game. It also doesn't help that Rosalina, both in this movie and in the Mario games, always kind of was this badass princess from the start, operating this giant observatory spaceship, stomping through Bowser's space fleet, enlightening Mario on the cycle of the universe. A couple spin-offs here and there that give her this strong, mysterious presence, while still making her more eccentric, exuberant, etc. Also, people kind of compare Movie Peach to Daisy, because while that comparison fundamentally misses core aspects of Daisy's character, it might be a little worrisome if Peach and Rosalina basically provide the exact same thing, even when Rosalina's core appeal is how remarkably different she is from Peach since her introduction. Then that creates another separate problem with what you do with Daisy when you eventually add her to these movies. Do you just make her a truly unhinged wild card, or is she some comedic relief fail boss character, kind of like Toad? Again, character-wise, it's not all that accurate to say Movie Peach is Daisy and all, just because she's strong and capable. Just to briefly go over why Daisy isn't really the same as Movie Peach. Daisy has like actual energy. Movie Peach isn't really energetic. She's stern, she's assertive, stoic, serious, badass. She's a fighter. Daisy's just energetic. She's peppy. She's radiant, exudes a lot of energy, exuberant. She hit Bowser once in Mario Party 3. Like, she is the most extroverted of the Mario Princess, you could say. Daisy's like way more cheery and more energetic than Movie Peach. Movie Peach isn't a tomboy at all. Daisy's not just her being girl bossy like how she is in Strikers or that one gag in Mario Party 3. Plus, if we're talking Mario Strikers, Peach is literally just as competitive, but plenty of people and fans did kind of expect what Movie Peach does to come more out of Daisy to a decent degree, mainly because of Daisy's tomboyish tendencies, and in most games, they do play up more how much more exuberant Daisy is, and potentially, at least physically, stronger and more athletic, just looking at Mario Strikers, baseball, even some Mario Karts here and there. But even then, Movie Peach really isn't that exuberant in the film. She literally is just strong, and Daisy's not often just her being kind of strong. I'm completely fine with Peach scrapping, being strong and capable, but putting her in more situations where she comes up just short, barely loses more, starts putting more weight and faith in relying on others like Mario when she's unable to do anything or when she's exhausted her options, but is overpowered or something. Not immediately when shit hits the fan, because then that would be too far of a sudden shift, and it would feel like tonal whiplash, because again, in movies, you do have to worry about character consistency far more than in games. I think even keeping Peach the way she is, but just giving her more downtime moments with Mario and other characters where she can be seen as more gentle, sweeter, more like the established version of the Peach character. I think doing that or any of the ideas I just spat out would help a lot, because it is easy to argue she is kind of bland outside of the fact she could throw hands in the movie. That's why I'm stressing there is a fine line. There is a sweet spot to be had. If you make Peach get kidnapped or fumble every now and then, that doesn't automatically make the shift or change unnatural if you can give enough context and ways for Peach to go down that road, to resemble her more like her game counterpart. And it's not just her being kidnapped, it's her being more exuberant, cheery, compassionate, gentle, the whole reason why she's called Peach, and having those girlier traits. Contrast her when she's kicking ass, being capable, having both worlds. Is Peach at her best, like in half the Paper Mario games, the Mario plus Rabbids games, Mario Wonder RPG, etc. Peach is a very interesting talking point when discussing the Mario movieverse, I feel. Even if some of the discussion can get either misfocused or misunderstood, because both Peach enthusiasts and movie Peach enjoyers and haters can misarticulate both variations and misinterpret each other quite a bit. I do think there is a balance to be struck. There is a sweet spot you can successfully target with Peach's personality that can be the best of both worlds, and her being more capable and her reflecting more of both the character strengths and flaws of her game counterpart, being more true to how she is in the games while also still trying to remain consistent with her movie iteration. Which, speaking of, the second one I'd like is probably the biggest one if this Peach one wasn't for how long I rambled about that, and it would bleed into any other strength or wish the film could muster. Give us a longer runtime. 90 minutes was not enough time to really explore Mario, Peach, Donkey Kong, etc. in the first film. Every single moment is pretty fast. It's another double-edged sword where if you risk spending too long on downtime moments, it can drag. But like, we hardly get any character depth and extensive time cooling down and exploring these dynamics. A lot of slow moments are so quick, they move on after just 2 minutes to the next action piece. And I do think that, on top of not prioritizing broadening these Mario characters, does hurt the Mario Brothers movie to an extent. It hurts because the little bits of chemistry we get between characters is marvelous. Mario and Peach's chemistry in the first movie, unironically some of the best parts in the entire movie, and it's literally not even close. Mario and DK, for a very, very, very brief moment, finally coming to the same level in the Mare's stomach. That was a really nice moment. Mario and Luigi's chemistry at the start of the movie, that as the driving force for the rest of it, is still really good too. Everyone going to these movies loves every single character so much. We just want more character depth and exploration and more time exploring these dynamics. Those would give everyone more reason to love these characters and potentially relate to them that much more, if not just make them more entertaining and add to the Mario brand itself. Mario being a parallel to the novice Mario player and his stubborn attitude reflecting that on top of his journey is practically the most we get, plus Bowser and his usual antics and personality, but Bowser's basically the most consistent Mario character in that regard. DK having some father-son issues, Peach not originating from the Mushroom Kingdom is pretty minimal otherwise, and I think properly exploring stuff like that would be incredible. What's Mario's goal now that he's famous in the Mushroom Kingdom in Brooklyn? Does he want to be famous across the universe, knowing he can travel far and wide? Does he want to perfect his platforming and combat capabilities? Or does he really just want to explore everything existence has to offer and really bask in the adventure like every Mario game? What are Peach's goals beyond just being the princess? Does she want to explore the world or universe more, see more people, more humans, make more friends, make the rest of the world a better place, etc.? Mario may have these goals in mind as well. What about Luigi? Continue to prove he's just as capable and strong as his brother, maybe even explore him trying to do so without Mario by his side, play into his bond with Mario and his character like in Luigi's Mansion or the Mario and Luigi games. Mario and Peach shooting the shit, really discussing such. Same with Luigi, even 1 to 2 extra minutes of cooldown with these characters and scenes like that than what we got in the final Mario Brothers movie. I think people would be hella forgiving towards 5 to 10 extra minutes total for these movies' runtimes. That's all I'm asking, not even an extra half hour or 20 minutes. Sonic 2 is a great Sonic movie in my opinion, but the only consistent qualm people have is the amount of time spent on the wedding stuff with the humans, even though plenty of others, including myself, find it funny. Sonic 3 is shorter, and for as great that movie is, it also felt like it should have gotten just that little bit of extra runtime for more character depth, in mainly Shadow, just a teeny tiny bit more. Mario has the opposite problem of Sonic 2. Even though the Mario films are mainly for kids and families, which is why people say they're fast-paced, those Sonic movies are hella meant for kids just as much, and it is really easy to see. Yet in both Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, they wanted to explore these characters and still provide Sonic action, and both films managed really well in my opinion, on top of getting the longer runtimes after the first film. Nothing should stop the Mario movie from trying to do the same, and it can definitely strike that balance too. The way I see it is either the Mario Galaxy movie has roughly the same runtime as the Mario Brothers movie, but because we got a lot of origin stuff out of the way, they can really focus on getting to the major stuff a lot faster, and it would give us more time and chances to flesh out more of these characters. or the film actually does get a longer runtime, and it winds up prioritizing broadening Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Rosalina, etc., and it is more character-driven than it is just the gaminess of it all. And I do hope either one is the case, but I'm leaning more towards the latter, making it a better scenario. I don't even think you need to make the core plot all that crazy. If you could make the core plot more interesting, sure, all the better. But even if you just flesh out the characters, the plot becomes practically secondary or more about the characters and their own journeys / motivations in a good number of cases, not just vice versa. That also ties with the Peach thing, but like everyone would love to get to know more about Mario at his core, about Peach, Luigi, Bowser, Rosalina, Bowser Jr., etc. I do have faith we'll get a decent bit of that with Rosalina, and Rosalina's definitely going to have some dynamics with Mario and probably Peach, plus her backstory being in the movie. That's definitely going to be in the movie, but just a longer runtime, and using that longer runtime to give more spotlight and depth to these characters and dynamics. That would be phenomenal. These other handful of wants, I'm basically going to get regardless. Let's just get these out of the way quickly. Rosalina's backstory, that's going to show up in some way, shape, or form. I'm really confident because this film's focus is Galaxy that I think Rosalina and her backstory, it's just that non-negotiable. We've been getting a bigger emphasis on it with the remasters, adding more lore to them, a physical version of her storybook's on the way. Having her backstory in the film, it's going to be beautiful. And I'm willing to expect like any settings or parts where it's not Galaxy specific, like Toast Arena, they're probably going to last like a shorter runtime than people expect, like how the first film covers Mario Kart and Donkey Kong Country, despite being called the Super Mario Brothers movie. I do think the bulk of the film is still going to be Galaxy focused. I think a lot of the concerns about this being Super Mario Brothers 2, not Super Mario Galaxy, I think a lot of those concerns are unfounded, and Rosalina's backstory, I have no doubt, is going to appear in some way. Brian Tyler, gonna absolutely crush the soundtrack for this movie. I have more than enough faith because the original movie's soundtrack is an utter banger. I specifically want to hear songs like the obvious Egg Planet, Gusty Garden Galaxy, that's already confirmed, Enter Bowser Jr., when Jr.'s introduced, Purple Comet, Rosalina and the Comet Observatory. It's very safe to assume we'll get a bevy of Galaxy music, but also getting songs like Bowser Jr.'s Spicy Tortilla, Space Junk Road, Byeeee Base Galaxy, etc. They would be phenomenal. I do hope we get some Galaxy 2 music too. Yoshi Star Galaxy orchestralized when Yoshi's introduced. That would be really cool. Actually, wait, that's a good one. Number 3, can we not have insert pop culture songs? I'll give the Mario movie this. I'm not even a big hater of the insert songs in the Mario movie. Most of those insert songs they put into not only good songs, I Need a Hero, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, even though it's been like more than 20 years since Shrek 2 dropped and I Need a Hero literally peaked at Shrek 2. You're not going to top it. But they did kind of fit some of the themes they took up, not all of them, but it still stings. Brian Tyler composes these songs for the film, and several of them just get cut. Oh, because it's tradition for a lot of movies to have pop culture music. I think that's low-key pretty stupid, especially when the movie makes it a point to adapt as much game music as possible. Why not let the composers go all the way? Why are we going to miss out on DK Island Swing, or the main theme, as Mario trains, if the composer's making songs for those moments, regardless, and when they are just fantastic, perfectly fitting songs at those points? I know I'm not alone with that. Just let Brian Tyler flex the entire soundtrack, please. Back to more optimistic hopes, though. I'm already getting these galaxies, just set pieces from these games. We have planets from Good Egg, Honey Hive, Gusty Garden when you look at the movie's logo. Drip Drop Galaxy was in the trailer. You have one planet from Gusty Garden in the background in that same shot, etc. I would love if we got some Galaxy 2 galaxies as well. And as far as specifics, I kind of assume you have to do Space Junk Galaxy. That one's a very popular one. Maybe Melty Molten Galaxy, maybe Toy Time Galaxy. Both of those would be cool, but just seeing more Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2 set pieces would be beautiful to witness, especially for how insanely good the animations, the models, the lighting especially, all the aspects of the visuals are. And again, I said this in the previous video, more Luigi doing stuff, actually contributing more to the adventure than what he did in the first movie. He's a capable and great character people want to see more of. And the footage of him driving to Toast Arena with Mario, the poster with the both of them in Toast Arena, heavily looks like Luigi's going to have much of a bigger role. Inherently, that already kind of makes this movie better than the first, because that was one aspect about the original a lot of people did not like, just how Luigi gets sidelined for most of it. Again, literally everything these movies could improve and be better on is all the things the Mario Brothers movie doesn't do. Like, nothing's really stopping them, you know what I mean? And that's generally it for once. Let's shoot predictions and theories. We got around 12. We got around 12 or so of these, and some will be bigger than others. Let's center around my Shayla, Rosalina. Because people are bringing up how similar Peach and Rosalina look. So people are theorizing how Rosalina and Peach could be related. I think it's possible. It's at least plausible. I think Rosalina might know more about Peach, but I'm not going to put that much stock that her and Peach are like sisters. Definitely not mother and daughter, that's for damn sure. That's my theory and prediction, number one. Theory number two, Rosalina's personality. There's somewhat of a hot debate over the years of how Rosalina should be portrayed. Her subdued, calmer voice, or since Mario Kart 8, her louder, cheerful, more blithe voice. Because people argue the latter ruins her character or misses the appeal. When you play Mario Galaxy, you would think she'd be introverted for how mysterious and quiet she is. But like, she's very friendly to Mario. She lets the Toad Brigade and Luigi on board before Mario knowing they came back with them. Like I'm saying introverted-like, but she's not really introverted. She never even was back on her debut game. It's just her mysterious nature was her defining trait on introduction. And even long after, like they did kind of get rid of that gradually. I'm low-key thinking her being jovial, sunny, and upbeat adds to her character too. Forget it'd be boring making a character one note like that. I would believe she still does value her mother and the Lumas a lot, but it's also safe to imagine, and I do love to imagine, Mario had that effect on her and encouraged her to put herself out there more, be more optimistic and cheerful, enjoy the parties, the kart racing, etc. I still love Rosalina, classic or modern, and she never really felt like a different character to me over the years. Just more of the same, but with more layers and sides to her, because nowadays she is way more sassy, exuberant, and outgoing more than before. Including all the other princesses plus Pauline, between how she's smug, beating Mega Leg in the trailer, how she is a Mario Kart world, etc. She's been adopting more of a vain, proud personality when competition arises, which is a very normal thing for every Mario character. But as far as this movie goes, I think they're going to lean more on how she is in Galaxy 1, while also managing to balance elements of how she acts in the modern games here and there. Prediction number 3, Rosalina's role. I think there's going to be this divine prophetic power or tradition or something to where Rosalina will basically get stories or insights to future events. Because I think that clip of her reading to the Lumas takes place at the beginning of the movie. Maybe not every event possible, or maybe she only has a legend or prophecy of one specific event, or an event that's already happened, but she brought this beautiful mystique in Galaxy, and she is the overseer of the cosmos, always watching down on many planets and life forms. I think they're going to play into those godly powers, that divine position she upholds, and even then she already has god powers both in the movies and in the Galaxy games. Surviving the Big Bang, a whole universe reset, I think that kind of thing is going to be owned up to in the film, and some type of clairvoyance of some kind, I think is going to be why Rosalina gets involved in the first place. Not just Bowser's army, or Mega Leg specifically, attacking her. Fourth theory, Mega Leg talks to Rosalina asking her to come quietly. There have been rumors and leaks of Wario and the Koopalings coming in the film, and it's confirmed not all the major castings have been announced for the film either. Yoshi at the barest of minimums is one of them. I assumed it was Bowser and Mega Leg, but now I think it's Bowser Jr. commandeering Mega Leg. We see him make that speech in the direct inside some cockpit. Mega Leg could be sentient. Bowser Jr. controlling it wouldn't make a lot of sense though. That said, people did theorize it could be Wario in there, and voice-wise for the movies, it would fit for a Wario voice, or a Koopaling voice, like Roy, Morton, etc. There's a lot of speculation surrounding just Mega Leg talking, but I think the answer to this one's more obvious, and it's Junior. I could be wrong, I'm sticking with my guns to this one. I think it's Junior just controlling Mega Leg. Prediction 5. Even if EGAD is not meant to be the creator of the paintbrush in the movie canon, I think they still are going to have to explain Bowser Jr.'s origins to an extent, or at the very least, play the idea in a very similar way to Mario Sunshine. Bowser Jr. causes trouble, it's cause his father's kidnapped and his mama's nearby, he thinks Peach is his mama, and they explore that whether Bowser sent Jr. on some trip or vacation, or it's a super fan of Bowser claiming to be his son. I think your average Joe, not even just hardcore Mario fans, are gonna want to know where Bowser Jr. was in the first movie, and how he exists to begin with. I do also think they are going to play with the whole, oh, Peach is my mama thing for Mario Sunshine. Theory number 6. I was completely right with Jr. using the Star Festival as cover to invade Peach's castle, but I'm willing to bet what his and Bowser's plans are once they escape, and how the general plot's going to progress. I think Galaxy's main plot is going to be replicated more than we think, because we have a slightly extended clip of him transforming, and you see stars and the sky move like the castle's being lifted up. We also have the UFO in the movie's logo. I think the castle, just like in the game, is going to be snatched up and stolen into space, and we're seeing that happen here, and somehow Junior knocks the bros out of the castle, and that's what leads them to Toast Arena, to find a launch star to space, to go after him, Bowser, Peach, and Rosalina. Bowser Jr. has heard of rumblings about an even stronger star than the superstar, the Grand Star, and wants to help his dad achieve that universal level of power. Junior successfully breaks Bowser out of prison, and Junior tries to cover territory in space, hence why Rosalina intervenes, as they make a joke about hitting Bowser and he grows back to normal size. Peach and Toad meet up with Rosalina, they handle Bowser Jr., their final battle involves Bowser Jr. using the Mega Hammer mech from Galaxy 2, his most iconic mech from the game, and Mario and Luigi and Yoshi all race against Bowser for the Grand Star. Either that, or Bowser stays small until the end, then he consumes the Grand Star. The ending of the movie will play out by Bowser being big, like in Galaxy 2, everyone banding together to take him down, then he shrinks to normal size, and then the final climax plays out, exactly the same as Galaxy 1. Mario fights Bowser inside of a star, wind, big orchestral, blaring music throughout all of this blasting, the almighty King Bowser, both of his boss themes from Galaxy 2 and 1. Final battle with Bowser, this epic showdown, a nearby star collapses, supermassive black hole, Luma sacrifice, universe reset, Big Bang, etc. Including the final battle with Bowser, final boss music playing during the last fight in particular. I really hope that's gonna happen. Prediction 7. We still don't have Yoshi. Even putting aside the leak, the first movie post-credits scene was Yoshi hatching under the streets of Brooklyn. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Kevin Hart voicing any of these characters is still on the table, and it's probably Yoshi, if not him. Crackpot prediction, I'm really only saying because it'd be really funny and cool. Charlie Guzman, Dashi, the YouTuber. What the fuck? I'm not expecting it, but if it happens, you heard it here first. It unironically would be a massive power move for us online folk. I'd be hooting and hollering if Dashi played Yoshi in these movies. And Yoshi will extend, no pun intended, his speed, tongue, and heavy-hitting power for traversing the planets and galaxies. And I have a feeling Yoshi's going to be introduced after the Toast Arena shenanigans are done, and he'll be involved in a puzzle in order for Mario and Luigi to catch up to Peach and get to space. Hence why her and Toad launch up seemingly first and Mario and Luigi are traveling in the desert. I guess to tie into this prediction, Theory 8 incoming, I think our next trailer is going to drop around the Game Awards in a month, like how that was when we got our major trailer for the first movie. It'll show off Yoshi, his voice actor. He'll have full audible dialogue like DK did, maybe sneak in a couple game-authentic Yoshi clips like what Bowser got, and we'll see galaxy power-ups. Mario nabbing a cloud flower, Rosalina messing with the bee mushroom alongside Honey Hive Galaxy and Cloudy Court Galaxy. I think we could also see either the Boo Mushroom or the Red Star. We've not seen Boos in the Mario movies yet. Seeing Flying Mario would be super dope. I think you could probably give the Boo Mushroom to Luigi. If Luigi touches a power-up, people are going to flip. People are going to go so crazy. Prediction 9, to add to that, a safer one. We'll get planets and such from Galaxy games, but I think they're going to have a healthy balance of both exploring planets and have normal spelunking and the classic linear Mario platforming, and still keep what the first movie established in that regard, both for objectives and goals, maybe to grab power-ups, items and such, or just to continue traveling. Theory 10, this kind of goes back to my assumption Luigi's going to get more screen time. I want the movie to address the fact Luigi was really good at platforming and fighting at the end of the movie, while Mario had to do a whole training arc for that, but not questioning Luigi, like what was up with that. I want them to verify the fact Luigi always had a better jump than Mario, and is just as capable as Mario is at anything he does when they do it together, because that's a trait Luigi has in several mainline Mario games. Mario and Luigi, Paper Mario, etc. And they really do explore Luigi trying to be more confident and courageous without needing Mario by his side, knowing Mario's okay, but him needed to work up the courage to really step up by himself. Luigi does jump higher than Mario off that sand dune, even on a bike. He's skinnier, lighter than Mario. I'm pretty sure that's why Luigi has those unique traits about him compared to Mario. But if they answer that in the movie, I think that would be really cool. Prediction 11. Let's go Insano style for these last two predictions. They keep trying to hype up obscure, deep-cut characters. Chris Meledandri, Keegan-Michael Key a while back. Like, they keep bringing up, we're going to get some deep-cut characters to show off. but we keep thinking it's like Wario or Honey Queen or something. Granted, I do not have faith in Illumination's definition in what they qualify as a deep cut niche character, but someone's gotta shoot for the literal stars, and these guys do, often. They're conquering civilizations and stealing life from other races to survive. Screw it, man. I'm just gonna say it. They are gonna go deep cut by Mario standards, and it's the troops. Already, you have an RPG character. They're aliens. This is a space movie. I've been saying this since before the first Mario movie dropped. That said, I'll be honest, any Mario RPG character would have me super giddy. Mallow, Starlow, Prince Peasley, any Paper Mario partner. Like, a lot of characters could fit the bill for a niche deep cut, given the RPGs are more niche and less popular compared to most Mario games. I could cry for Vivian showing up, maybe Goombella. I would, but dude, the Shroops literally write themselves. They're literally aliens. It would be such an easy write-in, not even as like the main antagonist or like a third party, even though that would be cool. Let's say they're like terrorizing one galaxy. Like they're invading Honey Hive or something. They would be pretty cool, easy antagonists for a short brief period of the film. And my last 12th theory, other characters and the third movie. We keep getting rumors of characters like Wario and the Koopalings showing up. I'm gonna go out on a limb and place my bets on one more character popping up after Yoshi. I don't think the Koopalings are gonna be in it. I think I can picture how Wario might be in this film. I don't think it's gonna be Wario, but I can see it. Donkey Kong's a Mario Kart character, not just the staple of his own series. We got Mario Kart in the last movie, and this first film was an origin of sorts. Donkey Kong was the beginning of it all. You would have Donkey Kong in the first Mario movie in some form. Wario has nothing to do with Galaxy. But just in case the rumors are true about Wario being in it, I would assume the Wario part's true. I'm thinking he stumbles across Yoshi in Brooklyn and is manipulating him, misusing his abilities in some way. I could see him be an obstacle strictly if it's something Mario and Luigi have to do on Earth before they go into space, and it ties with Yoshi. I think that's the only way you could fit Wario in, and I think something like that can work. But then he'd practically be another Spike, God rest his soul. That's the only situation I could see Wario be applied, but as much as I would pop off for Wario showing up in the movieverse, I do love me some Wario. I think the rumors are false, and I do kind of think Daisy would be a cooler, slightly more appropriate addition, alongside I think it's going to be her in the movie, because she has nothing to do with Galaxy either. But you could at least build a more natural dynamic for a movie like this with her ruling Tostarena. Peach was the adopted princess of the Mushroom Kingdom. Daisy was adopted. Maybe she doesn't originate from the kingdom either. And then they ham up how like, oh my god, there are other humans in this world. Because Peach popped off seeing Mario as a human. So it's heavily implied she's never seen other humans before. Maybe it's hard to spot Tostarena, Daisy, etc. Then Mario and Luigi find her, she aids Mario and Luigi because she's infatuated with Luigi or something, and she could be involved in this movie for a prophecy or whatever. But Wario as an obstacle in the first half or first third of the movie, I could potentially see. Hell, maybe even give him a sort of anti-role. And he opposes Mario, but similar to DK, if he gets involved in the final climax, he sets aside his grudge and helps the good guys for his own ambitions, which would be in character for Wario on top. But again, I think we're gonna get Daisy. I don't want to get my hopes up. There's like flower imagery in that room Peach fights the ninjas in. Plus, Tostarena's design has some flower imagery too. It would fit. Modern Nintendo is trying to apply more desert imagery to Daisy because she originated from Rosalina, but like Shy Guy Bazaar has like Daisy imagery on it too. I think they would lean in on that. I originally thought, no, Wario would make it too cluttered, too many characters, because he has zero ties to Galaxy. If the Koopalings are here, then yes, I think it actually would be very cluttered, because then you would strictly have to make the Koopalings just bosses for the good guys to beat, like the Blue Koopa General from the first movie that was the Blue Shell, which, yeah, it would fit, but I think people want legitimate personalities and character depth for these guys, for how unique visually they all are. I think people also just want more reasons to like these guys, but I think Wario can be pulled off relatively well like DK was in the first movie, but I'm leaning more on Daisy being in this movie more. And I also think we've yet to see Yoshi. If they have more Mario characters waiting in the wake, I genuinely think one extra more is the absolute cap, until it does feel too disheveled or scrambled, especially if the runtime's the exact same as the first movie. Characters aside, Galaxy movies definitely making around the same amount as the first movie for sure. They have more Nintendo movies planned in the pipeline. And you have so many ideas for Mario movies and spin-off material. I think a third movie is a shoo-in, and I think one of the two scenarios are plausible. One of the two being genuinely more schizo than the other. The realistic one is the movie ends on the Galaxy credit score. When it ends, we get a post-credits scene, and the scene's Luigi receiving a letter that says, "You can now play as Luigi," but it's promoting how Luigi's the player of a contest. And he won. Bing, bang, boom. Luigi's Mansion. Absolute cinema. Easy money. And it'll be its own movie, sprinkling elements of all 3 Luigi's Mansion games. Absolute cinema. The schizo idea, characters like Donkey Kong and Bowser can't stand Mario, but Luigi's the common favorite. DK did manage to work with Mario when it mattered. I think Luigi would be the glue that could stick them together. If Peach is in it, because Peach definitely would be too, if they wanted to work together. You know how like Mario and Bowser often work together in the RPGs? This is only less schizo if they actually are dead serious about legitimately niche, deep cut characters, because RPG characters do fit that mold. Because if we do get characters like those, I do not think they would then be afraid of adapting a Mario RPG story into the film. Because if this movie performs close to as well, if not better, as the Mario Brothers movie, which it probably will, people are going to show up because it's still more Mario. It's more of these characters we know and love. It's a movie franchise millions upon millions of people love and know they're going to be a hit with a good Mario movie. Again, if they do give us RPG characters as those deep cut characters, then this will have more stakes. The only thing I'm going off though is how Mario and Bowser hate each other in the trailer. But he likes having Luigi around, and Luigi likes Bowser's presence, which is hilariously in character for all 3 of them. Same for Mario's baby-ass behavior, even though he is justified in being very petty. But also a dynamic between Mario and Bowser, who have to work together, is so ripe with juicy, spectacular banter between them, if the first half of the trailer is anything to go off of. And that portion is a really good omen, I feel. But you can now play as Luigi, and it segues into Luigi's Mansion. You gotta admit, that is a pretty darn good idea. But even then, I think them doing a low-stakes third movie is also on the table too. You don't have to raise the stakes every time. Even smaller plots and stakes and characters can work if you make them focused. Movies like those actually have the space to flesh out these characters if you put all the characters we have thus far, plus Daisy, Wario, Waluigi, etc. in a party, kart, or sports setting. Because then you would have to focus on the characters and broaden them. It's possible. I'm banking on the 2 other scenarios more than anything. You can now play as Luigi into Luigi's Mansion. I think that's the most realistic one. But third movie being like, I don't know, Thousand Year Door or Super Paper Mario or Mario RPG story. Any of the Mario RPGs would translate really well into a movie. Like, they would be perfect. But more unrealistic schizo, like I said. But yeah, can you tell why I split this up in its own video? But man, dude, this Galaxy movie, it's looking incredible. And I do hope through that process, because they are almost done with finalizing everything, some of what was spitballed here was considered for the movie at all. I have hope. I have a little hope. Some of these will pan out. You guys like any theories or wishes I had here? Any you agreed with or disagreed with? Any theories or ideas I didn't think of you have on your own? Let me know down below in those comments. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, plenty of Mario, Mario Galaxy, and Mario Galaxy movie content to come in the future. Stay super.
哟，嘿，妹妹，嘿，我来呀！共和大哈哈呀！拉面，嘿，来面，来个面，共和再见呀！哈哈，拉面，酱手面，谢谢。